Hi, folks. This is James, and what's up? Okay, today is English Reading Challenge 100 Days, Day 3. Okay, we're gonna start our challenge right now, and it's Day 3. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start mapping. Mapping, yeah, mapping the consumer path throughout the 5 A's. Today I'm gonna read Mapping the consumer path throughout the 5 A's. Okay. The stages, the stages, the stages in 5 A's are not always straightforward, but are sometimes even spiral. Similar to the way woman busy. With attention def, deficit. Sorry. With attention deficit, customers might skip a certain phase along the customer path. For instance, a customer might not be attracted to a brand at first, a, but a recommendation from a friend drives the customer to eventually purchase the brand. It means that the customer skips appeal and goes directly from aware to ask. On the other hand, it is also possible that some customers skip ask and impulsively act solely based on the initial awareness and appeal. In other cases, example in scarce and highly popular categories, loyal advocates might not necessarily be actual buyers. Tesla products, for example, are well advocated by non-buyers. This means that customers skip act and go directly to advocate. The new customer path is not necessarily a fixed customer funnel, and customers do not necessarily go through all the 5 A's. Thus, from aware to advocate, the path may expand or narrow in terms of the number of customers going through each stage. With the new customer path might also be a spiral in which customers return to previous stages, creating a feedback loop. A customer who asks questions may add new brands to awareness list to find a particular brand much more appealing. A customer who encounters product issues during usage might research more about the product before deciding whether to keep using it or switch to another. Since the path might be a spiral, the number of brands considered throughout the consumer path might also fluctuate. Fluctuate. A new word. Fluctuate across the 5 A's. The time customers spend on their path to purchase also varies across industries categories, depending on the perceived importance of the categories. In consumer goods categories, for example, aware and appeal occur almost simultaneously. Thus, strong brand awareness without equally strong brand appeal in those categories usually leads to nothing. The time spent on ask is also typically very short. Spontaneous discovery is very common. Customers instantly and impulsively decide which brands to choose as they scroll down the grocery aisles. Most customers catch only a glimpse of each considered brand in store and typically do not research further. The big ticket items such as real estate, and cars. On the other hand, customers are willing to spend more time asking questions and doing extensive research before purchasing the items. The 5A framework is a flexible tool that is applicable to all industries when used to describe customer behavior. It draws a picture that is closer to the actual consumer path. There are three main sources of influence marketers can use to do so. A customer's decisions across the 5As are usually influenced by a combination of their own influence, others' influence, and outer influence. And that's called the ozone. Own, other, and outer. Okay. The ozone of driving customers from awareness to advocacy. The outer influence comes from external sources. It is purposely initiated by brands through advertising and other marketing communications. It may also come from other customers' interfaces, such as Salesforce and customer service staff. From a brand standpoint, outer influence is still manageable and controllable. The message, the media, and frequency can be planted. The overall customer touchpoints can be designed, although the resulting customers' perceptions may still be depending on how satisfactory the experience is. Similarly, others' influence also comes from external environment. Typically, it comes from a close cycle of friends and family as word of mouth. Others' influence can also come from a broader or independent community to which customers belong. For example, customers may be influenced by conversations they heard on social networking platforms. Customers may also be influenced by communal rating systems such as TripAdvisor and Yelp. Not all sources of others' influence are equal. Among many segments, the youth, women, and the netizen used women NWYWN used women netizen are the most influential. Used youth, women, and netizen YWYWN are most influential. Other influence coming from them is over major to do so is through community marketing. Companies cannot directly control the conversation within the community, but they may facilitate discussion with the help of loyal customers. On the own influence comes from within oneself. It is a result of past experience and interactions with several brands, personal judgment, and evaluations of the brands, and advertising. Indeed, the three major sources of influence are always intertwined. Your own and others, then outer. Your own is your personal preferences, and others word of mouth, and outer mainly advertising. Outer influence may reaches customers first. If a brand successfully triggers conversations with outer influence, it is usually followed by other influence. Ultimately, the way these two sources of influence interact will shape customers' own influence. Any particular customer is usually influenced by all three types. Albeit with different proportions. Albeit with different albeit. Albeit, Albert. I hope I pronounced that right. Okay, Albert with different proportions. Some customers have stronger personal preferences and are not influenced too much by an advertisement or a friend's recommendation. Some rely heavily on the recommendation of others, and some believes in advertisers despite individual variations. Today's customers rely more on others' influence than their own, an outer influence for reasons we have already discussed. Research by Nielsen in 2015 reveals that 83% of respondents in 60 countries rely on friends and family as the most trusted source of advertising, and 66% pay attention to the opinions of others posted online. Across the 5 A's, customers are most open to influence during ask and act age stages. In ask, customers seek advice and absorb as much information as possible from others, and outer influence within with regard to a short list of brands. The ask stage serves as a window of opportunity for marketers to increase brand favorability. In act, in act, customers shape their own perception of brands over time. Since they are no longer wary of outer pressure to buy this stage, they have an open mindset. Brands that offer stronger customer experience during consumption and usage will be the preferred brands. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much.